It is playoff time yet again for the California Golden Seals. Another successful year, but yet another year where we're not entirely sure what this team is going to be capable of now that we are in the playoffs. We, of course, still have some questions. The beginning of the season saw the major shift of Gregory Konowalchuk being the starting goaltender as Torsten Åkerlund had to leave. He had to go. He had to get the boot. And he did. But this year also saw quite a few new faces in the lineup begin to prove themselves. Stéphane Viano had a great season, but so many times we've seen players on this team have strong regular seasons and not be able to translate that to postseason success. And this might be yet another year of that. No way to tell until we get into the sim. That said, there has been a change, and it has been to the defense, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. But Henry Shattenkirk and Pat Ling have been called up. Kolosov and Conacher, who weren't amazing on that third pairing, both still younger defensemen, who I imagine will be a part of this team moving forward, have been sent down. They didn't really make that many improvements as far as their overalls are concerned. And with what we've seen going on with the Edmonton Twitch series as far as just stacking a defense to as good as we can possibly get it to be, granted, we lack... we do have one top two defenseman, but granted on some of those Edmonton teams we've had three top two defensemen. We don't have the same amount of depth. It's not as ridiculous, but I'm hoping that calling up Shattenkirk and Ling gives us the edge, puts us into a better spot to be successful. Of course, there are still some strong players down in the AHL. Burrow, Nylander, Garnett, Francois, McAmmond, and Svoboda, Yang, all 80 plus. But I think the forward core will stay the same. I think they deserve to. As far as whether or not we have any major changes if we struggle early on in the series, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know what this team's capable of. As far as what Vancouver is capable of, I'm going to guess great things. It's not the most ridiculous team I've ever seen, but that center depth is unreal. I don't know how to feel about this. They have no real-world players left. They do have a former Golden Seal and a Dan Gray. I'm calling him a Dan. It's not Aiden, it's a Dan. Clearly. Has to be. 26 points in a full season for him. Defensively, Stafford and Menino, McCauley, and another former Golden Seal, Ulrich Blatny. Now 26 years old. He had 16 points in 82 games. You look at his numbers in seasons prior to that, though. Yeah, good old Ulrich. And the third pairing's pretty weak. Goaltending-wise, it is Ernesto Cardwell and Braden Eastwood as the tandem healthy scratches of Nolan Rudder and Ralph Hewson. Are we good enough to beat this team? Yes, we are. I think that's not unfair to say. They do have some high-level talents. That 90 overall defenseman, he's the best defenseman in this series. Are we well-rounded enough to win? Yes, but they do have home ice. It doesn't mean much aside from the fact... I want to say it doesn't mean much, but with how often this ends up being like, oh, the home team hasn't won until Game 7, or the road team hasn't won until Game... Like, it's so weird how this plays out. We're just going to get into this, though. No more hype. Nothing else. Let's do this. Is this the year for the Seals to finally start scrapping their way, throwing fisticuffs, scratching and crawling their way back towards the Stanley Cup final appearance? Let's find out. It is Game 1 in Vancouver, first period, and that is a fine start. Melnick and Ricci with the goals, 15 shots to 3. Second period, I didn't want to overhype it because I had a feeling they'd get at least one, and they do. It's Greer. We're going to go to the third period, and I'm so tempted to treat this like I did with Edmonton and just go through. You know what? If Steven Moreau scores, that's perfect. Rene Francois. The defenseman. It's so weird because we had the two Francois. It's 4-1. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. As Gray scores. Never mind. I'm not happy. I'm very upset and angry and disappointed. Please don't let them score 2 goals. Thank you, EA. 4-2 final in that first game. And I think we're going to handle this like I have the Edmonton run on Twitch as of late. We're far enough into this series at this point. We're going for a speed run. Let's see what happens. So game 1 is fine. I'm not going to do the slow sim on the third period unless it's a major game or an overtime. Major game is in an elimination game. We do take game 1. Let's jump into game 2 and see if we can continue off of that hot start in that first game. First period, we get the opening goal. It's Melnyk again. Promising. Second period, it is 2-0. It's Hartnell. I'm going to hit the A button here. Third period, do we have ourselves a 2-0 series lead? Yes, we do. Steven Moroz with 2 goals in the third period. Rajala gets one back to break the shutout. But it is a 4-1 victory in game 2, and we take both games on the road. Strong game from Connor Walchuk and Steven Moroz in particular, which is great because playoff-wise, again, it's that tendency's been there. We've been very unlucky. It's been commonplace for our stars to underperform. We have outscored them 8-3 over the course of the first 2 games. Game 3 here at home is going to be stressful. Very stressful. But the good thing is, we're going to get through it quite quickly. First period, and we have the opening goal. It's Melnyk again. He is on fire. Second period, the Canucks tie it. Cam Beats with the goal. Let's do this. Third period, who will take game 3? The Vancouver Canucks will take game 3. 2 goals for Rajala in the effort. And case in point, the home team has yet to win. Cardwell with a 30-save effort. And this series is not over yet. All 3 games. I mean, 4-2 is kind of close, but let's be honest, all 3 games haven't been close at this point. It's fairly ridiculous. And game 4 could go the same way. I'm not going to make any lineup changes. I don't think we have to just yet if we end up going to a decisive game 5 here, maybe. It's game 4, though. First period, and we have a 2-1 lead. Melnyk again. VNO gets his first of the postseason. Cam Beats with the lone goal for the Canucks. Second period, that is extremely helpful. Ben McCauley's first, and Baines with his first 2 postseason goals. 5-1. Third period, 7-2. That is your final. Tarasov and VNO with another goal. We absolutely light up the Canucks, and we have a 3-1 series lead. 3-point nights for Baines, VNO, and Francois with the hat trick of assists. And quickly, suddenly, we have a chance to end this series in just 5 games. We weren't on the best stretch heading into the postseason. The Canucks were 7-3. Yeah, we have a 3-1 series lead heading into game 5. No lineup changes. Let's go. Can this team get the job done? Do we have what it takes to end this series right here and right now in our first of 3 opportunities? First period, we do get the opening goal at Steven Moroz. Second period, the Canucks tie it with DeLuca. Is this series going to end right here, right now? I said I'd go for slow sim and elimination game, but screw it. Let's hit the A button. Let's see what happens. And the Canucks take it. Greer with the lone goal. Vancouver battles back from 1-0 down to take the game by the score 2-1. Cardwell with 30 saves. And we are going back home. Unfortunately, it's not to celebrate a series win. It's to go to game 6 against Vancouver. And I'm so tempted to make changes to the lineup, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to trust the team. Game 6, we can do this. We can win this. We can end this series right here and right now. First period, Vancouver gets the opening goal. It's Dumberger. Second period, Vancouver gets another goal. It's Taylor. Third period, is there a comeback on the cards, or are we going to game 7? We are going to game 7. VNO gets the lone goal. And just like that, game 7, back in Vancouver. A wonderful chance to end this series somewhat early has gone up in flames. And there's a really, really good chance that we're going to crash and burn. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Connor Walchuk needs to be better. We've had Mateo Fox bail us out before in the playoffs. I don't know if we should attempt to do that now. I mean, overall, his career save percentage in the playoffs, not that great. I think Connor Walchuk deserves the start. Defensively, top pairing's been fine. Second pairing's been okay. that third pairing just hasn't been getting it done. I know Pat Ling has 2 assists, but it's not doing it for me. And I mean, that plus minus, obviously plus minus in real life is not a great stat, but we only have so much to go off of. I say it every time. It would be great if we could have it be more MLB The Show style and have better analytics, but we don't. And it makes it very difficult whether or not you should just be like, it's RNG, don't worry about it, or if you should make a change because of it. And the problem is, again, the top 4 right now is still solid, and it's at the point where I'm going to make a change. I don't know if I want to send down Shattenkirk as well, but Pat Ling, you haven't made the most of this opportunity. I think we're going to go probably for Conacher and Kolosov again. We could give Vorobiev at 24 an opportunity. I think we go back to who got us here. Shattenkirk, I'm sorry, buddy, but you're out. You are out. We're going back to the team that got us to this point. Whether or not this gives us a good enough jolt to make it past Vancouver, I don't know. We very well could be going through another draft here in just a few moments. Or we could be simming through round 2. Happier thoughts. So Kolosov and Conacher are back offensively. Melnick's been great. Bachman's been okay. Goals would be nice, but he's been pretty good. No complaints about the top line. No real complaints about the second line. The third line has been a little bit quiet. The fourth line hasn't been terrible. I mean, it's mainly been Baines, and the fact that he has 4 goals here. Hartnell's been okay as well. Just the 1 point for Mayorov. And I can't help but think, can he play center? 63. Can Tarasov play center? 63. Not that Baines could even play center. I'm going to make that change. We're going to go with Baines, Hartnell, Ricci. Try to get the hot hand on a better line, see what he can do. And we'll go who's better defensively. We'll go with Sarainen at center. Mayorov on the 4th line right wing spot. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. If this team isn't good enough to make it, so be it. It looked like they would have been, but there's only one way to find out now, isn't there? So Game 7 against the Canucks in Vancouver. Are we going to be bounced in the first round, or are we moving on? First period, and we have a 2-0 lead. It's Vienno and McCauley, 13 shots to 10. Second period is scoreless, and we go to the third. Can we hold on, punch our ticket to the second round, or will Germain score? Vancouver on the power play can immediately capitalize. 11 minutes left. Power play chance for us. 5-on-3. Vienno scores again. Eat your heart out, Dylan Redden, someone who can actually produce in the playoffs. 3 minutes left, and the California Golden Seals are moving on to the second round. We avoid collapsing this time. We beat Vancouver in 7. Technically, we still collapsed because it went to that 7th game, but we are moving on. Connor Walchuk, I trusted you, and it worked out. 36 saves, just 1 goal against, and that is what we needed. A big-time effort from a goaltender for once, a big-time effort from a high-scoring threat with Stefan Vienno, and we have punched our ticket to the second round where we will be taking on the Nashville Predators. We actually have home ice in the series as well. One thing to keep in mind, the Preds no longer have Eli Maroon. Of course, we know that he ended up going to New York. This is the team that took him, and the team that may have put this entire series on a downward spiral. It's my fault because I didn't take Maroon, but they certainly benefited from having him on their team for a while. I think they've won, 2 cups? I think 2, at least 2. So that's good, right? That's great. We will be simming through this. Again, you would have seen the lines. We're going to keep the team as it is. You would have seen the stats just moments ago, so there's no reason to go back through that. Let's take a look at Nashville. Let's see what we're dealing with here. And hopefully this roster is weaker than it's ever been. So Kallio Lawson is now 35 years old. Aiden Meach, those were the 2 core members, along with Eli Maroon in goal, that led them to success. However, oh my God, Esteban Fragapane, the other Fragapane, a 919, but still to see another old face here. And you look at those numbers, that's why we got rid of him, right? He's not, at the very least, he doesn't play like an 89 overall goalie. And whether or not that's down to the consistency or whatever else, whatever other stat, he doesn't play like an 89 rated goalie. So while it sucks to see an 89 rating there, don't even say it's because of the poise. It's not. While he is an 89, he doesn't play like it. So we might have a chance here. And as it is, the reflex stats are actually kind of low, and that's probably the big reason as to why. Much like some defensemen can have crazy high stats, but it's down to their strength rating being ridiculously high. So Fragapani's there. Tuukka Vatanen is not ours. I want to take a look here, though, forward-wise. So again, guys like Kallio Lawson at this point, long-term member of this team, but obviously on the downstretch. It's a very well-rounded offense. I can't hate on that offense. Defensively, that is their weak point. That is their weak point. We should be able to win this. The Nashville window, ideally, is closed. That said, that top line is still producing. I'm not as worried about Meach, but Lawson's still great. They have Petrovic and Schmid on the way up. But that defense is weak, and we know that goaltender isn't that strong on paper. We should be able to win this. Whether or not we will, time will tell. But I think we could find ourselves back in the conference final as long as everyone plays to the best of their ability and RN Jesus is on our side. So let's do this. First period of game 1, and it's a goal apiece effort, Baines and Engqvist. Second period, not ideal. Kallio Lawson scores. I'm going to sim third, 3-2-1, and that is unfortunate. 40 shots to 25. Vienno tied it. Petrovic, their top line center, wins it. 3-2 is the final score. Nashville wins on the road to kick things off. Of course, there's not too much to really dissect there. It was a close game. It wasn't a blowout. The offense struggled to produce or really get, a crazy amount of shots. But as far as why that happened, what we can do to adapt, the answer's pretty much nothing. So we'll jump into game 2. First period, it's a goal apiece, Meach and Kolosov. Second period is scoreless. So this third period, very low shot totals here. Third period, 3-2-1, and the California Golden Seals have tied this series. What an effort. Melnyk, Tarasov, and Vienno. Meach gets them back to within 1 with his second of the game. I was going to say second of the series. It's second of the game. We have a tied series to Nashville. Successful trip to California for them, taking 1 of the first 2 games. But we did very well to respond in game 2. And we are right back in this series. Vienno, 10 points in 9 games. It's the type of performance that we need from him. Oh boy, game 3. We're going for it. We're going for it. The speed run is on. A very important game 3 tonight in Nashville. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Engqvist and Lawson again. We need a strong effort in the third period. That we get, but it's not enough. Schmid made it 3. Moroz with 2 goals gets us back to within 1, but the empty net from Froats. Vienno gets one back with 2 seconds left. That goal Connor Walchuk gave up within the first 2:45 of the third period ended up being the backbreaker. 4-3 is your final. We needed a better effort from the goaltending and the defense, and we just didn't get it. Nashville back up by 1 in this series. And because we did just give up 4 goals, and we've given up quite a few goals already to start this series, let's take a look at the defense and see if there's anything we can change or if there's a line that's just not getting it done. Again, 922 for Connor Walchuk's not great. It's not horrible either. Nichushkin only 1 point. I feel like Nichushkin and Francois, the plus-minuses have dropped. Landon McCult's still doing well. And then Kolosov and Conacher haven't been that bad. I'm going to make a change because I feel like Francois and Nichushkin, the plus-minus, has dropped. I'm going to put McPherson on the top line with Francois. Let's run with Nichushkin and McCult as the second pairing. As far as the offense is concerned, top line still doing all right. The second line's gotten roughed up a little bit in terms of their production, or at least in terms of the plus-minus. The production's been okay. No one line is getting absolutely crushed here from the looks of it. That said, the third line is not producing at a good enough rate. Mainly Ralph Ricci. He needs to be better. Absolutely. I mean, 5 points from Baines, 3 from Hartnell. Oh, boy. Ralph, hate to tell you, buddy, you're going down. You are going down. It'll be Baines, Hartnell, and Mayorov with Tarasov, Sarine, and Ricci as the fourth line. And we'll see if that's enough to spark the team and get us back into the series. We're only down by 1. It's a very big game 4 against Nashville. We need to win this. We need to get right back into the series and make it a best of 3. First period of game 1, it's goal apiece, Plekhanov and Melnyk. Second period, we have the lead. It's Melnyk again. Very strong effort from him this postseason. It's great to see. Third period, we're simming it. 3-2-1, and we're going to overtime. Plekhanov with the goal. Here we go. Place your bets. Who do you think's going to win? The answer is Nashville very quickly. It's Aiden Meach. Oh, I don't even want to know who took the penalty because it's just going to break my heart. 2-goal effort from Melnyk, and there just wasn't enough there. It was Sarinen on the fourth line, which, of course, my argument is that this game's garbage because the fourth liner was on the ice 31 seconds into an overtime when there's no way the first shift would have even been over. But, you know, that's okay. That's how the game works. We are down 3-1 in this series. I don't feel like we should be, but them's the breaks. Let's go for it. Game 5. Game 5. I was hoping the Nashville dynasty would be over. Apparently it's not. So I say to my team, prove me wrong. First period of this game, we do get the opening goal, Ben McCauley. 14 shots to 3, but we're only up by 1. That's scary. Second period, now we're up by 2. Steven Moroz is having a great postseason, and I would hate to waste it between Moroz, Melnyk, Vienneau. They're all performing like we need them to. We just need the goaltending to be a little bit more lights out. Third period, are we going to overtime? Is the season over? Or will there be a game 6 in Nashville? We're going to overtime. Oh my God. Petrovic and Glenny. 31 shots to 21. We go to overtime. Season on the line. Overtime challenge predictions. I don't know. Here we go. Overtime here in Game 5. A must-win game to continue this series. Are we destined to go to double overtime? Power play for the Preds is killed off. 8 minutes left. Who is going to win this game? It's going to double OT, for sure. And it does. You know how this works. Don't blink, you'll miss it. It is nearly guaranteed to end. I'm going to say 9 times out of 10. It will end in 5 seconds or less. Are we going to Game 6? Or are we going home? Let's find out. We're going to Game 6. Landon McCult, 19 seconds in. And the California Golden Seals are not done yet. 2-point night from McCult, 30 saves from Connor Walchuk. That is the type of effort we need from you that you are capable of. Game 6 in Nashville. Huge goal from Landon McCult. The Chicago Blackhawks are awaiting the winner after dispatching the Minnesota Wild in 5 games. Pittsburgh will play either Philly or Washington in the conference final. We can't focus on that, though. I'm keeping the team the same. We know they're good enough to win. It's just whether or not they will. RNGesus. Bless us, please. Game 6. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Melnyk and Hartnell. We're up 2-0. That has not been a safe scoreline for us. Third period. Can we hold on? Can we force Game 7? Plekhanov scores. Come on, boys. You can do this. Shut him down. Connor Walchuk, we need you. This is a star-making performance. Sarinen makes up for the fact that he is a big part of the reason as to why we lost in Game 4. Under 5 minutes left, up 3-1. The California Golden Seals have forced Game 7. Oh boy. So in round one, we do blow the 3-1 lead, end up winning in Game 7. Round 2, we fight back to force Game 7. Let's hope that we have a little bit more success than the Canucks did. It's Game 7 on home ice. The winning team goes on to play Chicago. It is Pittsburgh and Philly in the Eastern Conference Final. Oh, God. Melnyk has been great. Bachman still without a goal, but 10 points. Vienno's been great. McCauley on 9 points. Ivanov with 7. No goals from our top 2 centers, which is shocking. I think we're okay. We have people on each line that can put up points if they need to. That top line needs to be broken up, but that second line has found a groove. So we are going to make the switch. It's going to be... let's go Kolosov, Francois, Conacher, and McPherson. Let's do it that way. And we'll see if that works. Goaltending-wise, Connor Walchuk, you've done well. Again, a 920 isn't ideal when you see goalies winning the Conn Smythe with a 940 and 950 sometimes. Game 7. Are we going back to the conference final for the first time and God knows how long? Or will the journey end here? And you know what? Even if it does, it looks like we're on the right track, which is very promising because that started to be a little bit doubtful as of late. First period of Game 7, and Nashville has a 2-0 lead. Olausen and Fruits. Now here's the thing, this game loves storytelling. We've blown 2-0 leads on a few occasions in the series. Will they blow a 2-0 lead in Game 7? Second period. Come on. 2 goals from Melnyk. Baines gets one of his own. 3-2 Seals. As we go to the third period of this Game 7. Oh, God. Here we go. This game is a roller coaster of emotion. Power play chance for the Preds. That is killed off under 11 minutes left in regulation. Shots are about even, and Aiden Meach, I said he was done. He might not be. Power play. Melnyk gets the hat trick. Is that enough? 1.5 left. The California Golden Seals are going back to the conference final for the first time in who knows how long. We fight back from a 3-1 deficit. Robinson Melnyk with the hat trick. We are going to the conference final to take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Wow, I can't believe we nearly blow a 3-1 lead and then fight back from a 3-1 lead to actually win the series. Robinson Melnyk has been spectacular. Bachman's been great. Vienno's been great. McCauley's been good. Ivanov's been fine. Moreau's has been good. This team might just have what it takes. There's some questions in the bottom 6 that we could potentially address. Again, there are some players here, some proven ones as well down this left-hand side that have failed us over and over again. But we have options to potentially make changes if we need to. As far as what I do with call-ups and send-downs now, or in terms of even just changing up the lines, I'm not sure who I would switch, to be honest. It could be Mayorov, it could be Tarasov. That would be probably the easy switch, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. Nor am I sure that this is the right decision, but we are going to call it. And in the next episode, it will either be that series against the Blackhawks in the draft, or it will be that series against the Blackhawks. Our logo. Our logo. Why is it so pixelated, EA? What the hell is that? The next episode will either be our series against Chicago and the draft, or it will be our series against Chicago and the Stanley Cup Finals for just the second time in this series against either Philly and Pittsburgh. Let me know what you think about the lines. I will see you guys in the next one. where we will probably have the worst luck. And then alongside the question of what if you drafted Eli Maroon, there will also be the question of what if you didn't cliffhanger us and you kept going because you lost to Chicago and you lost because you got different RNG because you waited for another day.